So you mentioned about having to buy smaller sizes.
Yeah, and it's really hard actually, because I find these days the look is like baggy, bigger clothes, but because I'm so tiny, everything's big and baggy on me. So I'm quite limited what I can get really. So I struggle a little bit with what to wear and what I want, but as you can see I've got kind of enough things in here. It's just, I like longer sleeve things. I don't like anything where this is showing, because I'm really conscious about my arms being slim, so I much prefer kind of long things, and I struggle a lot more in summer really.
So what sizes do you tend to buy then?
6.
Yeah.
Always a 6 and always an extra small, and it's really frustrating because a lot of places actually don't do their sizes, and then for someone like me it's like just automatically rolled out, so that can be hard. And when I was younger as well, I wanted to be like really fashionable and wearing the same things as everybody else, but sometimes it just looked big on me or just didn't suit me. I used to have to get the trousers taken in because I'm long but tiny around here. So I want to make the film because today is the 29th of February, which is Rare Disease Day, and having a rare disease such as what I've got, which is Acquired Partial Lipodystrophy, it's not something that many people have heard of. So I heard about means that I've acquired it as part of another illness. So I have a kidney condition, which meant that I also acquired this as a result. APL is a condition which means my fat cells are affected and abnormally distributed, so the fat in my body isn't stored correctly. It usually would only affect the top half of people's bodies, which can mean that you can look a little bit out of proportion. And it means that any fat that I consume is not stored as it would be in an average person. It's stored internally around my organs, and it's not distributed around the body, which kind of gives this very slim appearance, and it can also have a lot of dangerous medical conditions as well. So I was actually only 4 years old at the time, and so my mum tells me that I was playing out in the garden one day and it was a very hot day, and she said, oh, like, I think take your t-shirt off. And she looked and said she couldn't believe it, like she thought, what's happened? Like I just looked really, really thin and unwell, and she was really shocked. And I think it was around that time that I started having obviously the kidney complications. So eventually when I was diagnosed with the kidney condition, we were also told that I probably had this lipodystrophy, this very rare condition. I'm lucky really that growing up I had a really close-knit group of friends who were kind of, it's quite amazing really, but stuck together throughout from being 4 or 5 up till kind of now. And they were always kind of supportive and looked out for me, and like they'd stick up for me. So I think I was kind of protected by that a lot, and by having such a good group of friends. That kind of sometimes when I did get picked on for the way I looked, it kind of like they'd stick up for me, or I'd have them, so it didn't affect me probably as much as it could have done. I'm very thankful that it wasn't in the days like it is now with social media and online, because I think that could have been even more kind of damaging. So I think my family were told, which it turns out now was completely the wrong advice, but let her eat what she wants, she's going to be thin, she needs to kind of eat a lot of fatty foods and things like that. My parents did say that at the time there was not really obviously the internet, and that everything was very, very in real medical speak and medical language, and they found it virtually impossible to get any real answers or to understand kind of the information. So they did lots of like tests, they obviously weighed me, blah blah blah, and they said I can only eat around 30 grams of fat a day, which most people might not realise, but your average like meal deal you'll get from the shop would be more than that in a day. So overnight it was like, oh my god, what am I going to do, how am I going to cope? And also, because I'm slim, I've always felt like people think, oh, she doesn't eat properly, and it annoys me because I've actually got a really big appetite. I didn't mention, but one of the things that the condition can cause is hunger, excessive hunger, which I've kind of had. So I worry that people are going to see me then eating like low fat foods and think, oh, no wonder she looks like that then. And it was really hard. The first few months were really, really difficult. I was writing down what I ate, I was calculating it. I was also really fearful that I would lose more weight because of the diet, and my mum would like to be bigger. That really terrified me. After a while I calmed down a bit and I stopped kind of writing it down and monitoring it to that level because it was just all consuming. But I've had to really learn about foods, what I can and can't eat. It's very, very hard, and I'd say a lot of the days I go above 30 grams, but I'm a lot lower than what I would have been previously.
So did people actually say things to you?
Not so much about food, well, I suppose about food, because I've always had, oh, do you not eat anything? Oh, you're anorexic? Like, you must be really fussy. Or like, people say stupid things like, well, if you were given a pizza, how many slices could you eat? And things like that. Like, people really do make judgments, I think, or assume that you're choosing to eat a certain way, or that you want to look a certain way, want to be a certain size. People are very quick to judge, I think, with weight.
So why do you think that they feel at liberty to say things like that to you?
I've got absolutely no idea. That's something like you said, why did I want to make the film? Because it really angers me. I think we've got better at people who are at the larger end of the spectrum of realising that what you say has an effect on them.
So what do you think this film could achieve?
I think this film could show people that there are all kinds of shapes and sizes in this world. You never know what somebody else is going through. And just to be kinder, and whatever size you are, just kind of realise that you have to come to some acceptance and make the best of who you are. I think it's hard with us, it's like, obviously we've had to budget that floor, so do you put a whole new floor down, but that's loads of money. Like, what should you spend money on and what should you just live with?
So how long have you been here?
We only moved in end of September, so it's October, November, December, January, February. It's only 5 months. I think we've done quite a lot, really. I just want to live as well. Like, we got to a point where all we were doing was stuff on the house, and it just got a bit, not much, but I felt we weren't doing anything like
Fun.
Yeah.